The video game industry is no stranger to legal disputes over intellectual property, or IP, but recent cases are testing the boundaries between inspiration and infringement. Schedule 1, the hit new game where you grow and sell illegal substances, is currently under investigation for its alleged similarities to movie game SA's Drug Dealer Simulator series, raising familiar questions about creative borrowing and game design. Schedule 1 is just one in a growing number of indie games being targeted by large franchises. The most well-known one right now is the battle brewing between Nintendo and Palworld developer Pocketpair, one that could reshape the gaming landscape for years to come. This video explores what Nintendo's legal win could mean for Palworld and gaming's future as a whole, plus how you can support indie developers. As a Palworld YouTuber, I will be focusing mainly on that battle, but the implications of this will reach to all games and all genres. The fight over Nintendo's US patents is too complex for one video, but if you want a deep dive into why some of the many patents they applied for were denied, and more about the 4 they won, let me know in the comments. After researching this closely, I've got some unexpected predictions about the future of this lawsuit. For more details, check out the articles I've linked below by GamesFray. They explain it really well in their Explain It To Me Like I'm 5 series on the Nintendo vs. Pocketpair dispute. How legal maneuvering could reshape the entire genre. Known for fiercely protecting its IP, Nintendo's recent wave of US patent filings represents a strategic escalation in its long-standing defense of intellectual property, one that could fundamentally alter game development in the creature collections genre. By moving beyond traditional copyright claims and securing patents on core gameplay mechanics, Nintendo is constructing a legal framework that could allow it to exert unprecedented control over an entire category of games. The anatomy of Nintendo's patent playbook. Nintendo's playbook regarding these patents is made up of 3 main parts. 1. Procedural animation techniques. Nintendo's patents cover highly specific animation systems that govern how creatures move, interact, and emote. This includes idle behaviors like the creature's shuffling, stretching, or reacting to the player, expressive triggers like their happy, tired, or battle-ready animations, and physics-based movements such as how creatures walk, run, or fly in waves that might be deemed reminiscent of Pokemon. Why does this matter? Procedural animation is a common technique in modern games. But if Nintendo successfully enforces these patents, competitors could be forced to either spend significant resources developing entirely new animation systems or risk litigation by implementing even vaguely similar behaviors. This will severely limit the variety of games we get. We all know of games where the second game to come out is a better version of the first one released. Sunken Land of Stranded Deep comes to mind, but this will prevent anything like that from ever happening again. 2. Multiplayer trading and battle systems. Nintendo has patented mechanics they consider central to the Pokemon experience, including real-time creature trading interfaces like the menus, trade confirmations, and exchange animations, turn-based battle sequences like move selection, stat comparisons, and victory or loss sequences, and online matchmaking for battles like pairing players based on skill or creature levels. Why does this matter? These systems are foundational to most creature collecting games. If Nintendo enforces these patents, future games in the genre may need to avoid traditional turn-based combat entirely and shift to real-time battles like we have in Palworld, or radically redesign trading systems to avoid infringement, potentially making them harder for fans to use or understand. 3. Visual stylization methods. Perhaps the most concerning patents they filed involve artistic techniques such as proportional stylization, which is large-eyed, cute creature designs with specific body ratios, color palette applications like how shading and hues are applied to differentiate species like our variants, and expressive detailing, which is how the creatures convey personality through visual cues, like Grillet's fiery happy dance or Depresso's gloomy nature. Why does this matter? Unlike copyright, which protects exact designs, these patents could allow Nintendo to challenge games that merely evoke a Pokemon-like aesthetic, even if no direct copying occurred. This could force indie companies to adopt more realistic or abstract creature designs, potentially alienating fans of the genre's traditional charm, or face legal threats even if their creatures are legally distinct like the Pals in Palworld. The legal precedent Nintendo is trying to set. Nintendo's strategy appears to be twofold. 1. Expand IP protection beyond copyright. By patenting mechanics rather than just assets, Nintendo is attempting to control not just clones, but any game that operates similarly to Pokemon, which they could continue to expand to be more and more generic until few games are safe. 2. Create a chilling effect. Even if Nintendo never fully enforces these patents, their existence could scare smaller studios away from the genre entirely, leaving Pokemon with near total market dominance, and Pokemon fans have seen how Nintendo deals with that. The games they've released have been steadily declining for decades just because Nintendo could. What could Pokemon fans do about it after all? Palworld has only given fans what Nintendo should have a long time ago. Potential fallout for the industry. If courts around the world uphold these patents, we could see fewer competitors in the creature collecting genre because indie devs may avoid the genre entirely rather than risk lawsuits, once again leading to fewer and fewer options and more stagnant gameplay from Nintendo. We could get more generic game design with studios stripping out patented mechanics, leading to less polished or innovative games, and a surge in patent trolling, meaning other major publishers could follow Nintendo's lead, patenting common mechanics like first-person shooting, crafting systems, and driving mechanics, and demand royalties from any new game using basic game mechanics. Imagine Need for Speed being unable to exist because of Mario Kart. No Call of Duty because we shot guns in Duck Hunt in the 80s. This could get out of hand quickly. Could Nintendo actually win? Patent lawsuits in gaming are rare, but not unheard of. Remember Namco Bandai for the loading screen minigames. However, Nintendo does face hurdles in this battle, some being prior art, meaning if other games used similar mechanics before Pokemon, Nintendo's patents could be invalidated. An issue of overbreadth, where they may face courts rejecting patents that are too vague or covering fundamental game design concepts. And there's always the public backlash. If Nintendo's actions are seen as anti-competitive, it could damage its reputation. We've already seen this happening, and it could become enough to make them back down. What this means for Palworld and its fans. If Nintendo moves forward with a lawsuit in the US, which recent patent approvals suggest is increasingly likely, Pocketpair could face several grim scenarios. Forced alterations or removal of content. Nintendo could demand that Palworld modify or delete certain creatures, animations, or gameplay systems, fundamentally changing the experience for players. We've already seen some changes made preemptively by Palworld, and they've not been well received overall. They could get monetary damages and bans. A court could order Palworld to pay significant royalties, or even block sales in certain regions, making the game inaccessible to fans. And the chilling effect on mods and community content. Nintendo has a history of cracking down on fan projects, like Pokemon Uranium, and if Palworld mods or spin-offs are deemed too close to Pokemon, they could be next. For players, this could mean losing access to beloved creatures or features in future updates, watching a promising indie game get buried under legal costs, slowing development, seeing fewer developers attempt creature collecting games for fear of lawsuits. The broader industry implications if Nintendo wins. If Nintendo successfully weaponizes these patents, the fallout could extend far beyond Palworld. We could have genre monopolization. Other studios might avoid creature collecting games entirely, fearing litigation. This could stifle innovation in a genre that has thrived on competition. 2, they could have a precedent for patent trolling. If Nintendo can patent basic gameplay loops, like catching monsters in balls, other companies might follow suit, leading to a surge in frivolous lawsuits over common mechanics like first-person shooting or battle royales. And an indie developer exodus. Small studios lacking legal resources may abandon projects that even vaguely resemble big-budget franchises, leading to a less diverse gaming market. How can fans push back? While legal battles play out in court, players and supporters of indie games can take action, and here are some ways that you can help save gaming as we know and love it. 1. Vocalize your support for Palworld. Public backlash has deterred Nintendo before, like with the Super Mario's 35 shutdown protests. And social media campaigns and petitions have been successful in the past and can pressure Nintendo to tread carefully. 2. Financially support competing indies. Games like Schedule 1 and Palworld offer fresh takes on older games. Purchasing these titles proves there's a demand for newer gameplay styles while still playing our favorite genres. 3. Advocate for patent reform. Current U.S. patent laws are vague enough to allow overreach. Pushing for clearer, fair use exemptions and game mechanics in every country could protect future innovation in gaming. In conclusion, this is the turning point for game creativity. The Palworld dispute isn't just about one game, it's about whether a single corporation can lock down an entire genre through legal maneuvering. If Nintendo succeeds, the gaming industry could enter an era where only the biggest companies can afford to take risks, while indies are forced to avoid anything resembling established franchises. For now, Palworld remains standing, but the coming months will determine whether it becomes a cautionary tale or a rallying cry for reform. Either way, the outcome will shape the future of game design, and fans will have a role to play in deciding which direction it goes. I hope you make the decision to fight for the future of gaming. I hope this has given you a better understanding of the dire situation the gaming industry is facing. If you want to know more, you can check out the articles I linked or leave me a comment. I read every one and I try to reply to them all. Another way to get in touch with me is through my Discord, which is also linked down below. Be sure to subscribe to get more Palworld news and updates. It's a totally free way to help my channel. If you want more exclusive perks, be sure to become a channel member or join my Patreon. That's where the real bosses are. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, even if all you did was watch this. I can't wait to see you in the next one, and until then, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.